It was a night when the gentle sound of rain pounded against the window. I still can't forget that day. My husband, Do-yoon Kong, disappeared without a word. Honey, are you late today? That was our last conversation. Instead of answering, he sighed, and then he said, I'm sorry. With those words, the call ended. He never returned after that day. The police said he likely simply ran away from home. The company said there were no particular problems, but I knew Do-yoon would never leave me. We had a difficult pregnancy, and now we had a 100-day-old son. Every night, Do-yoon whispered beside his son, Daddy'll protect you forever. How could someone like that disappear without a word? 3 months since he'd been missing. There was an unfamiliar envelope in the mailbox. No sender. My hands trembled. Inside the envelope was a photo and a note. In the photo, Do-yoon was with a woman. The two were smiling affectionately. The note had only one line. If you want to know the truth, go to the rooftop of the Seoyan building. I gasped. Betrayal. Infidelity. Is that common soap opera plot twist playing out in my life? The next night, leaving the child with my parents, I headed to the rooftop of the Seoyan building. A cold wind blew. A woman in a black coat stood on the rooftop. You are Do-yoon's wife, right? Her face was the same as the woman in the photo. Who are you? The woman smiled. I'm Do-yoon's Fayang. The world seemed to stop. That's ridiculous. We've been married for 5 years. The woman shook her head. He was my husband. You just interfered. My heart sank. Was it a lie? Or was I being fooled? That was it. The rooftop door swung open. A familiar voice. Stop it. I froze. It was Do-yoon. He was alive. I ran to him and beat his chest. Why did you do that? Why did you disappear? What is this? Do-yoon hugged me silently. His body was trembling with cold. I'll tell you everything. He slowly opened his mouth. That woman was my first love, but it ended a long time ago. Yoon-hee scoffed. Don't lie. Do-yoon shook his head. I'm being chased by the police right now. I was stunned. I found out about corruption at the company, and I reported it. They wouldn't leave me alone. Yoon-hee was his former co-worker, and someone implicated in the corruption. You handed over the evidence. Yoon-hee gritted her teeth. Do-yoon disappeared to protect us, to keep me and the child away from danger. So what about the affair photos? I asked. Yoon-hee laughed. They're composite photos to shake things up. At that moment, a siren rang out in the distance. Do-yoon said, I was going to finish this today. I've finished recording. He held a small recorder in his hand. Yoon-hee panicked for a moment, and then she suddenly ran towards the rooftop railing. I won't die alone. She shoved Do-yoon. I screamed, but Do-yoon held on to the railing and held on. I grabbed his hand with all my might. Don't let go. Tears flowed, mixing with the rain. A moment later, the police burst onto the rooftop. Yoon-hee was arrested. Do-yoon barely made it upstairs, holding my hand. A few days later, the news covered a major corporate corruption scandal. Do-yoon was protected as a whistleblower. And then, we returned home. The child, still unaware, was smiling brightly. Do-yoon held the child in his arms and said, "Did Dad keep his promise?" I leaned against his shoulder and whispered, "Don't try to fend for yourself anymore." Do-yoon smiled. "It's the three of us." Now, a few months later, we moved to a small seaside town, a quiet house, the sound of waves, warm sunlight. One evening, Do-yoon said, "Actually, I was really scared the day you disappeared." I held his hand. "Me too. But you came back eventually." He smiled. "It wasn't the end. It was the beginning." The sunset spread outside the window. Instead of rain, warm sunlight enveloped us. I thought, my life, which seemed like a dead end, could eventually have a happy ending. The gentle sound of waves, the sound of a child's laughter, and "I love you." This time, the phone didn't hang up.